Hello learners, I am Dr. Subodh Kesharwani working with Indira Gandhi National Open University, and the topic which I am going to talk today is internet services and email. I think if you talk in the present scenario, everybody is familiar with internet, and when we go more into the depth of it, I think we know that there was a time when we talk about after Christ or before Christ, but right now we talk about the pre-internet and post-internet scenario. So those people who born after the internet was there and those who born before the internet was there. So pre-internet and post-internet transaction is going on, and a lot of more terminologies are coming up, and we have observed that this internet services and email is a very important chapter, because it gives us the roof about what exactly the internet is and how the communication is going to play a very important role. Because if we more talk about the communication, I think there was a time when communication was more moving in a very gradual manner, in a late manner, but the internet had made everything quite speedy, and the communication is very fast, and the paperless transaction is there. There is great use of the technology, and environment is also going to be affected by that. So this, as we talk about the internet services and email, this internet service is a very important thing, because it talks about that how the services are going to play a very important role, and it's going to build that. So prior to going into the depth of this internet services and email, because everybody is familiar with the term called internet, and if we see in the present scenario, as far as this particular course is concerned, that business computer application business, we have seen that business is also going to use this computer in a more systematic manner, and the definition of the computer, the nomenclature of the computer, or the name of the computer is changing with the change of time. But this had not replaced the computer with the term called technology. So in our preceding sessions, we have talked about application, we have talked about the computers, the various ingredients related to computers, then softwares, then application software and system software, then web applications. This web application is somewhat overlap with the internet phenomena, which we are going to talk today, because when we are going to talk about the internet service, this web application is very important, because web-based explorers are there, web-based model is there, and everything is on the web, everything is on the cloud. So it's not like that for particular purpose you are just browsing the internet or browsing the particular devices. You are just doing it because your data is also on the web. So the whole world is talking about web. So word is web now, and we have talked about business information system, in which we have talked about the various aspects, that how the business is going to be governed and how the information system is going to strengthen the business. So then database management is system, because in the backdrop of any business is the database management, if you are going to put your data online. So then business process, how the business process is going to be enhanced, and then enterprise application. And when you're going to talk about enterprise application, there are certain the softwares which are helping or facilitating the business houses, or not to the business houses but the institution, but to the government agencies or to the various organizations. So it could be the tailor-made or the customized applications which are there. Then GDPR is there. So General Data Protection Regulation is now knocking a door, and it's a moral duty of every country or the whole world to keep the data safe, so that the consumers' data which are scattered or roams around anywhere, it's going to be regulated by that. So IT securities in business, which we have covered in our preceding sessions, and it was talking about the cyber threats, cyber security, or the hacking, because now since everything is going on the web, everything is going on other part of the world, and very easily the people can able to get the picture, because people are on social networking site, they are on the e-commerce portals, and so how the security is going to be there, because their wallets, their plastic money, and their amount is going to be linked with the particular commerce portal. So this is where the things are there. This is a 4-credit skill-based course of BCom, and we have already covered somewhere around 10 to 12 lectures, and the whole whole scenario talks about starting from the underneath part of computers, and then gradually we can cover the applications, the theme based applications, or the application which can facilitate the business. So anyway, if you see this particular screen, you will be able to know that this is internet services and email configuration, and we are here to talk about the internet, what exactly the internet is. And because everywhere we are talking about, there was a time when we talk about the highways, there was a time when we talk about the brick and mortar roads, but right now we talk about e-ways. What exactly the e-ways? E-ways talks about that you don't have to build a road so that people can connect themselves from one jurisdiction to other jurisdictions, but they can connect themselves virtually through internet. I think we all are moving in a pandemic stage, and we have seen that during this lockdown period, this meeting softwares or virtual interaction had come up in a big manner, and this is a real example of the internet. And we have seen that how this virtual meeting, which had replaced the physical meeting, is now bridging the gap, and somewhere the work is going on. So this is one of the very good example as far as the internet is concerned. And types of internet services, what are the certain services which are part of the which considered to be the internet services are there, and about email and its configuration, how we are going to configure the email, and what is the utility of email, then web browsers, then World Wide Web is there, then uniform resource locator is there, then domain names are there. Because when we talk about the domain names, I think it's become a matter of pride for every company to have their own websites or have their own applications. So these domains could be .com as a suffix when you are having a company name, or if you are an institution you can take .edu, or if you are so we will definitely throw a light on this particular domain names also when we are going to talk about this particular term. So the internet is a global network of billions of computers and other electronic devices. With the internet, it's possible to access almost any information, communicate with anyone else in the world, and do much more. So it's not like that with internet you are going to communicate or inform anything. Right now, if you talk about, you can order food, you can get the food at your doorstep, you can educate yourself, you can learn many things from internet. There are certain virtual universities which are coming up, there are certain virtual courses. If you talk about edX or Coursera, or you talk about the Indira Gandhi University as a whole, they are putting their programs on the SOMS platform or MHRD portals, where learners can go through the programs or the particular course without paying anything. So this kind of charitable model which had been initiated, so it's not confined to just purely information or communication, but doing something more. So this kind of thing which had come up, so you can do all this by connecting a computer to the internet, or if you talk about the computer, you can use as a device. It could be a gadget, it could be a tablets, it could be a laptop, or the smartphones which called going online. So to understand the internet, it helps to look it as a system which is a combination of hardware and software, and there are certain hardwares which are there, and there are certain application softwares. Now the app-based model has come up. If you have an Android phone and you just go to the Google Play Store, you find out there are numerous number of applications which are there, and you think about either it could be the encyclopedia or the online pedia. You will find out that for thesaurus, for dictionary, for learning, for commerce, or for the different, you just name any of the domain. I think for every domain, for every aspect, you find out the application is coming up, and these applications are developed by the developers and floated in an application format on the Google Play Store, and one can download it. So the moment you download it, you can use it, and there are some of the applications are is in free nature, and some are having a subscription base. So people are buying the things as per their scenario, and this model of watching the television also being changed. We have seen that there was a time when we rigid to the particular broadcasters or the service providers. Now the web series model had come up, and there are certain e-commerce portal who are giving a bundle offer. So you can have the web series, you can have a shopping, you can do a lot of things. So you can do the banking also. So banking, commerce, and what we talk about, the entertainment or the multimedia is all equipped with them. So one-stop portal is coming up, which is going to have a basket of features and you can use this. So all these devices together create the network of networks. That is very true. And when you talk about internet, it's not the network but the network of networks, because it can redirect you to the third portal. You can very easily reconnect yourself. So a lot of the pedagogy of modus operandi is there. So how does it work? If we just throw a light on it, we have a modem which can, and router is there now. The service provider can link with the modem, and in our device, the internet symbol comes up, and if we find that that internet symbol is active, it goes through domain server, then web server, then request path and return path is there. So anyway, this is one of the way by which and there are certain fixed wireless internet works where the tower is going to be established at one place, and from there the connectivity is going to be disseminated. So high speed internet signals are there, then receiver antennas are there, and main access. So this could be one of the the wireless model is coming up where fiber optical cables or the different mode is coming up. So there is no need to put the the cables inside it. So the satellite, from the satellite the linkage is there, and model and things are going on. So two most important protocols are TCP and IP. And when you talk about TCP, it's transmission control protocol, and IP stands for internet protocol. So there are transport layers and network layers protocols respectively of the protocol suite. The most well-known networks that adopted are TCP, IP is internet, and biggest one is the wider area network in the world. So this TCP IP model is a present data to the users, encoding and session control, which is called the application. Then support of communication between diverse devices and networks, which is in the form of transport. Then determines the path in the network, which is a duty of the internet. Then controls the hardware components of the network, is called network access. So there are certain RJ45 or coaxial cables are there. From there you can connect, or the Wi-Fi model is coming up. So the whole world is talking about the cordless approach where no cable format is there. So if you talk about internet, now the internet had taken a new name called Internet of Things, and which the intention is very clear. It's internet for everything, and either you connect yourself, or you can on the bulbs, or you can switch on the fan just through your device. So even the lockers going to be controlled, and the Wi-Fi camera is going to be controlled. So a lot of features, a lot of things are there which is going to come up. There are certain the Google voice-based assistants devices are coming up, which are navigating the users to accordingly. With the help of voice they can do that. So we are moving from text-based to the voice-based. So as far as the searching is concerned, as far as the execution is concerned. So the Internet of Things, or IoT, refers to the billions of physical devices around the world that are now connected to the internet, and all collecting and sharing data. The intention is very clear, that we are going to disseminate the knowledge, we are going to disseminate the data. Now the data is is a gigantic in nature, and users are, or the corporates house are using the data as per their need, as per their requirement. So the term IoT is mainly used for devices that would not usually be generally expected to have an internal connection, and that can communicate with the network, so independently of human action. So now human-less interventions are coming up. There is less involvement of human, and what we have observed that this human-less model is quite active or quite omnipresent in nature. So Internet of Things describes a network of physical objects that are embedded with sensors, softwares and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging of data and other devices and systems over the internet. So the definition of internet has changed with the change of time. It's now the real time. It's more analytic in nature. There is a use of machine learning, deep learning. The blockchain technology had come up, and this commodity sensors are coming up. And what is the purpose behind that? And when you talk about intention, is very clear. There are certain examples which are going on with the help of this IoT devices. If you take about the bulb that can be switched on using smartphone apps, and very easily you can change the color of the bulb also. You can even execute the bulb with the help of certain voice-based assistant. Either could be Alexa, Siri, or Google Assistant. And IoT device could be fluffy, as certain toys are there which are going to be controlled by that, and the driverless, chauffeurless cars are coming up. If we talk about the latest industry 4.0 or 5.0 talks about the chauffeurless cars, and these cars are not governed by the humans but by the technology. So you find out that how the things are changing, and there is a great paradigm shift now. We are moving from brick and mortar system to click and mortar system, and now with the help of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So some larger objects may themselves be filled with many smaller IoT components, and jet engine is now filled with thousands of sensors, and they can detect the things at a very beginning stage. So collecting and transmitting a data back to make sure it's operating efficiently. And we have observed that in certain smart cities, there is less human interventions are there, and robots are doing many things. If we have also seen, and if you go to Google, you will find out there are certain videos which talks about that in the grid, as far as the high tension wires are concerned, the robots are regulating all those things, because it's having huge currents flow over there. So by that they are going to control that. So anyway, what it takes to deliver the Internet of Things, it's high speed data network, a secure network, fast accessible Wi-Fi, and integrated ISP support. So this is internet basically. And if you talk about the internet services, or the types of internet services, it could be in different format, and it's not confined to that. It's changed with the change of time, and it could be email, it could be instant messaging. I think this instant messaging model had come because we if we recall ourselves, there was a time when we are very much depend on short messaging services, which we usually call SMS. After a certain time, what happened, the messaging browsers had come up. Either it could be Skype or WhatsApp, or the Google Duo. And what we observed, that these messaging services have bring a paradigm shift. So nobody is right now going for short messaging services, but using this contemporary messaging services, and they are not confined to rigid. They are using the video messaging services, or the other format also. So the style, or change, the culture had been changed, and we are right now more talking about the instant messaging. Then social network is also changing. When social networking was started by Facebook, or Twitter or Instagram or some other players, at that time it was very much confined, having very limited features. But right now you find out it's doing a lot of things. We are here, and we are just disseminating our knowledge through this Facebook live program. So this Facebook is a social networking site. So it's now not doing this thing, but adding some more things. So knowledge is also going to be disseminated, or learning is going to be done at your own pace. So you can either view the live lectures, or you can just download the lectures, or see the lecture as per your pace. So this kind of model is come up. File transfer protocol is there. Then electronic forums are there. So these electronic forums are developed now. Search engines, as far as the Google is concerned, it had bring a lot of change, where everything is on the web. You don't have to get, if you want particular information about particular thing, you just go to search engine. So there was a time when we refer the encyclopedias, but right now nobody is using this brick and mortar PDFs. They are just going to Wikipedia, or the thesaurus, or the dictionaries online which is available, and just gather or cater the info, or take the information from there. So web hosting is now changed with the change of time. It could be in a cloud manner, it could be in a, so if you are going to have your own company, when you are having your own domain, I think you are going to host your web on the particular portal. So this web hosting is now changed, and Google Play Store is now one step in this direction. So this Google Play Store is now putting the things in the application format, and you can put your application on Google Play Store, anybody can download it. So online storage is also coming up, and this cloud based storing model had come up. This is one of the way by which the email and its configuration is going to be done. And this Gmail and Yahoo Mail and Hotmail was a pioneer. And you see how you can go to this particular image and create your own account, and things are quite navigating in nature. The moment you put your details, very easily somebody can navigate you, and finally you reach to open your account. And moment you open your account, you get some data which is going to be free, where you can store your information. It could be 10 GB, 15 GB, and afterwards if you want, you can just pay and get it. So what is the future behind that? Future is that we are moving towards the cloud storing philosophy, where our data is going to be put on the web, on the cloud, and from there, so there is less usage of the stereotype hard disk or the gadgets to store the information. So there is less demand of the external devices which were usually demanded in the very beginning stage. The compact disk or the floppy drive market is now evaporated. So there is no use of it. So web browser, if we talk about, we have a very elaborative session on web browser, but again just we want to throw a light that Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge or Opera or Safari is one of the browsers which are there, and Mozilla Firefox is also there. So these internet browsers are navigating us, providing us a platform to browse and find the things through the internet. If there could not be no browser, you cannot able to go reach to the web. Operating system can only give you the option to open the device, but as far as this particular application is concerned, the web based application is concerned, is going to do with browser only. So uniform resource locator is colloquial termed as web address. URL occurs most commonly to reference web pages, but also used to file transfer, email, database and many other applications. If any company open their own domains or get the particular names, like the name of the company is ABC and they have taken the domain names called .com, so their URL could be abc.com. So this is the way. And if you talk about the domain name, a domain name is the address where internet users can access your website. A domain name is used for finding and identifying computers on the net. Computer use IP address, which is internet protocol address, which are series of numbers. So it starts with 198.10.10. Something like that. So it goes up to 255. So when we throw a light on this IP related phenomena, we will talk about that. So these are the certain the domains which can be available. If the government organization is there, it can use the .gov. If there is a informative websites, it can take the domain name called info or .com or edu for educational purpose, for e-commerce and for mobile related. So how to choose a domain name? I think this is the model by which the things are there. If the name of the company is quite big, you can take an acronym of that. If the name of the company is, if you want to take just a small name, you can go and take that. This is a virtual representation as well as physical representation. So as far as the IGNOU is concerned, now ignou.ac.in is the official portal of the Indira Gandhi National Open University, and this particular university talks about and one can visit the portal and find the detail about that. So all the information about the departments, about the school, about the archives, or how you can interact with the supporting staff or administrative staff, the regional centers, is available on there. So anyway, I think we have talked a lot about the internet services and email, and if you talk about the total population of India, which is somewhere around 130 crores, I think majority of them have their email account, and these email accounts is one of the way representing ourselves. So there was a time when we asked people that what's your mobile number, now we ask what's your email. So the things had been changed, the concept had been changed, the philosophy had been changed, the mindset had been changed. So this internet services had changed the mindset of the individual now, and providing people more frequent towards the communication, towards the the learning and other approach. And with the help of internet, we are not just doing one thing, but we are doing gamut of things. So with that, I am going to winding up my session. I think in our forthcoming session, we are going to talk more about a theme which can defend our course called Computer Application in Business. Thank you very much. Thank you.